It's the second leg of the weekend swing up here in the Hub City on High Button Sports. My name's Dayton Camo, welcoming the fans from Cape Breton and saying bienvenue aux partisans des Thunderbirds. Welcoming in you guys to the Greenfoot Energy Center for a U16 AAA matchup between the visiting Cape Breton Jets and the Moncton Thunderbirds. Starting in it tonight for the visiting Cape Breton Jets, number 72, Daniel Lavat. And on the other end of the ice, number 33, Cohen Boudreau. We're just about set for opening face-off. Referees will shortly make their way to center ice and we'll be underway. As the benches get loud, centermen roll to center ice. And we're underway here from Moncton. It's Teddy O and Lee on the draw. That draws one. Back by the Jets. Crawley plays it up the far side and knocked into the zone by Morrison. It's back to the point. A shot from LeBlanc goes in, blocked on his way to the net. Now Crawley picks it up and circles the zone. Cross ice. Shot goes in from the point. And that one just goes wide. Blocked. Shot by LeBlanc doesn't get through. Now Crawley working in, cross ice. That one turned aside by Boudreau with a rebound. He's circling around in the crease, and now he snags that one for the first stop of the game. 19:22 to go. An eventful first 40 seconds or so for the Jets. So face off to the left, Cohen Boudreau. Won by the Thunderbirds, but flipped high out of the defensive zone into the stands. We'll get another face-off here. Ward and Fortin on the draw. Fortin wins it to the boards. Nicholson, he gets pounded there by Ward, and now Ward collects it back, trying to hit Smith McNeil in the middle, but out of his reach. Now back along to Steve. Steve's up the half wall to Nicholson. He kicks it to Fortin, but it's out of his reach. Now a shot coming in, stopped by Boudreau. Rebound in the slot. Turned aside once more by Boudreau. Now a chance again, and that one stopped point blank. Cohen Boudreau making 3 or 4 point blank stops right there. Ward back on the draw. He wins it to the half wall. A shot goes in just wide. Smith McNeil sends one to the net as he falls into the corner. Gets back to the point. Pemberton trying to chip that one past the fallen player, but it's still tangled up in a couple of feet. Played back up the wall and now out of the zone. Phillips played that one into traffic. It got bumped back out to center, and Price will play it cross ice for the dump in. Now Phillips will make a move at the blue line. Another move to center ice. He gets dumped in, and Boudreau will corral that one as Smith McNeil gets dumped at center ice. Turnover at the point. Jador will have to regroup there for the Jets. Plays it back. Now up the wall, off the stick of Penny, but we'll say icing on the call. So back down to the Jets end. Face off to the left of Daniel Levat. Shot off the draw was blocked. Now the Jets with possession behind the net. Sent in front, chance taken away, and now it's Butters the other way. Working up, shot on, and that's turned aside by Boudreau. He'll cover up for the face-off. 17-15 left to go here in the first period. Butters will work back in on the draw against Goviterio. Breakout pass up the wall into the feet. Finally played back out to McDonald. He'll play one down to the Thunderbirds blue line. And now it's worked in. Terrio chips it to the line. Kept in by McDonald. He'll play it down. And that one's lifted high into the netting. So another stoppage of play coming early here in the first period. McDonald working in on the draw for the Thunderbirds, but it's won there by Fortin. Sent out of the zone. Jets will have to touch up. Steves goes up the wall. It'll jump over a stick. No icing on the call though, as this one's beat out. Shot goes on just wide of the net. Now Fortin is on it in the corner. He'll play it back to the point. This one's intercepted, brought up the line by LeBlanc. He'll fan on that shot and take it into the corner. Knocked up the wall. Mazzarolo had that one jump off his stick. Now it's at the blue line. McNaughton plays it up. It's picked up at the half wall and driven to the net. Turned aside by Levat off the shot by Mazzarolo. Now back to the point. It's chipped in. And picked up by Francis at the red line. He'll chip this one softly into the corner. Picked up by Elliot Blais. Up the wall, cross ice. Francis all over his man there at the half wall. Turning that puck over, and this one will be sent into the Thunderbirds end by McDonald. Now turned back up into the offensive zone by Price. He'll take a shot. That one's over the net. Sent back in by Zoinveld. Now McDonald, soft chip up the half wall, met by Crawley at center ice. Now Lee gets his way over the blue line, but it's taken away and knocked down the ice. Levat will come out to stop this one. Leaves it there for Colin McDonald. This one's fired up into the neutral zone. Played ahead for Nicholson, but he makes a move, turns it over, and away goes Crawley down the near side. He'll stop up at the wall. And this one's played back down into the Jets' end. A long pass out from Stevens will hit Lee at the blue line. Now away goes Chamberlain, breaking in. He'll stop up at the half wall. Gets to the slot, a pass across. Pad saved by Levat, and the rebound goes wide. Back to O'Shea at the point. The shot goes high and wide on the glove side. Now a redirect goes wide of the net in front. O'Shea trying to flip this one back in his offensive zone, but Crawley picks it up, goes the other way for the Jets, walks in, and that shot's gloved down by Going Boudreau. And a face-off will come to the left of Boudreau. Now back to the point. This one played by Pemberton. Just goes wide. Now chip to the middle, fourth time. Into the middle. Mazzarol can't get control of that one. Fortin plays it off the side of the net. Tried for that Michigan, wrapped it behind the net and played out front for Lance, but he couldn't get a good stick on that one. Back to Zwainville. Now the Jets the other way. Working in as a shot off the post. Good chance there, breaking in for the Jets. Now Smith McNeil picks it up the other way. He'll start the breakout at center. Rip one in, Boudreau to play it. Steves plays this one around the wall. A chance in front, a good save there by Boudreau. Bailing out his defenseman there. Now back down the ice. This one played the length. That'll go for an icing call. Just 8 minutes into this one. Butters worked in off the draw with Fortin. He won that one, but it's played back out to neutral ice. Chipped ahead to Butters. Now Jador. He's got a lane in. Jador shot glove saved by Boudreau, just wide now into the half wall. Butters will pick this one up. And it's sent high down into the Jet zone. And it will go for the ice. So we'll go back down 200 feet. Colton Butters on the draw against Kobe Terrio. He wins that one back cleanly. And LeBlanc unable to keep this puck in. Now chance away for the Thunderbirds, taken away at the line. And shipped back in deep by Butters. Now up the wall. Met there by Matthews was LeBlanc. Now away goes Terrio with speed. Can't make a move with the blue line. Now it's taken away. Butters trying to make that first outlet pass. It works itself up the wall. Now Steves trying to break out here for the Thunderbirds through the neutral zone. Taken away. Penny plays it back up to Jador. Jador walks in. Shot high over the net. Boudreau has to quickly reset as that one comes back over the net. Not a good job by Blais to keep that one inside the line. Now it jumps out. Blais goes back up cross ice, but Matthews offside, unable to touch up. Now Pemberton up the wall. Gets sent into the Thunderbird zone. Off the glass. Now a chance in for Connaught, and he'll shot. And that one goes wide. Now Francis working in, makes a move. Francis just chips this one over the net. Now Stevens hits Francis cross ice. This one intended for Zwain or O'Connor, excuse me, and that one's out of the reach for an icing call, so we'll go back down into the Thunderbird zone for an icing. Thunderbirds win that draw as Wayneville plays it back up the wall. Black trying to pinch in and keep it onside as he does. Back down in the corner. Price in there to battle for that one. They get it up to the point and not out. Simmons plays it back down along the dasher board. Two players breaking into center, but it's taken away on the far side. Francis picks it up on the half wall for the Jets. He chips this one out, and it gets to center ice. Brought up by Black. Black working in, goes to the slot to Francis. He shoots, rebound off the post. He scores. Blair Francis gets his own rebound off the post. And the Cape Breton Jets strike first in this one. They're up 1-0. Now Lee and Forte on the draw. Forte wins this one back, but it's picked up by Lee. And now turned back over. The Thunderbirds go the other way. Mazzaro works in to Forte. He works in on the backhand. A shot, they score! Alexi Fortin rips one home on the backhand, and we're all tied up here at the Greenford Energy Center. Draw won by Lee, back to Crawley. He plays it up to Butters, who sends it in. Now a shot from Crawley, turned aside by Boudreau. Crawley gets the return feed in the corner as he gets bumped. Now Lee tried to hit McDonald in slot. Or Morrison, excuse me. It doesn't get to him. Now a pass. Cross ice to Mazzaro. Drops to Fortin. He shoots back in front. And Lovat just able to squeeze the pads tight enough. The Forte Mazzaro connection on it again. Now a pass to center ice. It's Smith McNeil. That one's off of his stick, but kept on side as they turn it over. The shot goes off the blocker of Boudreau. Now back to the point. Picked up by Malik Stevenson, cross ice. Worked back in by the Jets. Shot goes off a skate. Back to center. Now a hit there on Lance. Gets the crowd going. Smith McNeil plays one to center. Chipped ahead to Ward as he falls. Gets this one stripped. As Tedio breaks down the far side. Tries to chip one backdoor, and the rebound turned aside by Lovat. Now it's back to center. Played across to Blair. They'll send one deep into the Jet zone. Nicholson working in on the forecheck. As this one's played up to Smith McNeil at the red line. He tries to make a move, taken away by Price in the corner. Price will lift a backhander up into the stands, and we'll get a face-off here. 6:46 left to go in the first period. On the draw, it'll be Fortin, the latest goal scorer, and Colton Butters. Tied up off the draw. This one gets sent back to Pemberton at the red line, and he'll dump it right back in. Price now plays it up the wall. Penny intercepts that one, rips a shot on. It's off the helmet of Boudreau and down back behind the net. Black picks it up in the corner, tries to send one in front. It's picked up by Mazzarolo and worked to center. Now Nicholson, his shot wide of the net. Mazzarolo evades the hit down there in the corner. Now Fortin works in, shot gloved on by Lovat, and that one will be stopped, held on to for a face-off. 6:07 left to go. Face-off one to the near side wall, put back to the point to Peters. And that one's into the far side corner, ripped back around the wall. Jador gets a stick on that one, chipping it out to center. Boudreau elects to stay in the net. And now a headman pass back to center, gets fed back in by LeBlanc. Now this one played to center ice. A high stick will be the call. And we're going to draw over to the far side, right outside the Jets' end. Face off one back to the Thunderbirds end. It's played up to Zwainfeld. Or that was O'Connor, excuse me. Now back up the wall. Down to center ice. Into the corner. Peters will look for an option. Off the glass he goes, now to center. Back across ice to O'Connor. He'll dump one deep into the zone. LeBlanc picks it up for the Jets. Now Francis plays one across. And it's worked in by McDonald. A chance in tight, turned away by Boudreau, and now it's back to the point. Simmons tried to chip one to the point. It's played out and down into the Jets' end. This one will go for the icing. And now we'll get a penalty call. Simmons running into Steves after the whistle. So a slashing call on the play. We'll send the Thunderbirds to the man advantage late in the first period. 4:27 left here on the clock. But the draw coming back down to the Thunderbirds' blue line. Played across to Steves. Declan Steves goes back to Blais. We'll start the breakout here on the power play. Steves, a long headman pass out to center ice. Tries to hit Teddy O. Goes back to Mazzaro. Mazzaro works in, back down low to Teddy O. This one through the slot. And picked up. Sent back to Mazzaro. Now Blais. At the point down to Terrio. Terrio shot off the post. Now Blais to Steves. Down low to Terrio. Picked off by Crawley. And now it'll be sent back to the blue line. Steves plays across ice, gets the return feed, plays it up to center. Now Mazzarol working in. He's got Parker Lee all over him now. Big hit. That'll be a call along the near side wall. So a cross check. A cross check is the call to Alexandre Mazzarol, but unsure if I saw a cross check on that play. But nonetheless, that 3-foot danger area from the boards, you make a play there, it's going to be called every time. So Mazzarol to the box. The Jets to their first man advantage of the game. This one gets sent back into the Jets' end. A breakout started and worked to center by Phillips, but it's taken away. Now Matthews trying to make a move. They'll leave that back to Zwainveld. 4-on-4 action, lots of room to skate. And now a wild bounce will play this one around off a stanchion and back up the half wall. Now Fortin. Back to the point. Price sends a shot in off the pad of Lavat. And now the Jets on the power play. Played around far side. It's going to be worked into the zone by McDonald and played back out to the slot, taken away by the stick of McNaughton. Now it's sent down into the Jets end. McNaughton pressuring LeBlanc down deep. LeBlanc plays one out to center. Now Nicholson on the forecheck there for the Thunderbirds. His shot off the side of the net. Phillips plays it back in behind his own net for the Jets. Up to LeBlanc. They'll make a pass up through neutral ice. And Blais, the recipient in the corner, plays it back to O'Shea. Up the wall, O'Connor taking a bump there from Stevens and a penalty coming on the play. The shot goes in, backdoor, the rebound stopped by Lavat. Might have gone wide off a skate. Now it's going to be blown down. The Jets will touch up. Stevens will be the recipient of a charging call. With 41 seconds left here in the first period, the Thunderbirds will go back to the power play. Terrio, Mazzarol, Chamberlain with Zwainveld and Price on the back end. The power play unit for the Thunderbirds. They win that draw. Zwainveld plays it back across to Mazzarol. He circles at the top, back to Price. Price to Mazzarol. Cross ice to Zwainveld, back. That shot in by Price is turned aside by Lavat. And we're down to 24 seconds left on the clock. Face off one. Now Zwainveld at the point. Sends a shot through. Rebound. Tedio blocks blocked in front, and now Terrio back. Tried to send one up the wall, off the linesman's skate, back to the half wall, picked up by Zwainveld. Now Mazzaro on the half wall, try to go cross ice, and that'll do it here in the first period as Zwainveld gives a shot down low to Jador. Both players will get up drawing, and we'll take a break for the intermission. We'll be right back for the second period of play. A 1-1 score here at the Greenfoot Energy Center in Moncton.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
right, welcome back inside the Greenpoint Energy Center in Moncton for the second period of play between the Cape Breton Jets and the Moncton Thunderbirds. Through 20 minutes, we're all tied up. 1-1 the score. Now a chance for the Thunderbirds early in the second period. This one turned aside by Levat. Now work back. Fortin comes in. Shot turned aside by Levat. And we'll get a face off. Down to the right of the Jets goaltender. Scoring summary early in the first period. The opening goal from Blair Francis. And then less than a minute later, Alexis Fortin on the backhand, evening things out. Back in on the draw comes Fortin. He wins that one back to Price at the blue line. Across to Zwainveld. The captain swings one in. It's blocked in front, and Levat has the rebound. So face off, back to the left now. Fortin working back in on the draw. Wins it back to Zwainveld. Now Price, he'll swing one in. A shot is blocked by Black, and now into the corner. Nicholson will play one back around. Fortin back to Zwainveld. Zwainveld plays one to Price, but it's out of his reach. Now Price back to Zwainveld off the post, a one-timer from the point. Now Price, cross ice, Fortin picks one up. Back across, they score! Alexis Fortin fed one backdoor cross ice to Travis Nicholson. And the Thunderbirds, just like that, have taken a 2-1 lead. So back to center we go. McDonald on the draw with Learmouth, and Learmouth will win this one and chip it down into the Jet zone. Stopped by Levat, left there for McDonald. He'll go up to center. McDonald plays one across to Simmons, but it's back out to the neutral zone. Now LeBlanc gets bumped and spilled at center ice as O'Shea goes back to pick it up. A chance in front now for the Jets. Francis had one, and he slid it over back door. We'll get a penalty call now, a slash to Peters. So he'll head off to the box for 2 or less. The Jets will work back in on the man advantage. Phillips, Lee, and Francis with McDonald and Crawley at the points. The power play unit for the Jets. Face off one back into the corner. Francis first on it. Now McDonald, shot goes in, saved by Boudreau, and the rebound cleared out of danger and back down all the way to LeBlanc, or Levat, excuse me. McDonald leaves it for the captain, spinning up through center ice, makes his way over the blue line. Phillips. He'll look cross ice. That one played off a skate. Now Francis down low gets muscled off that one. Played back to McDonald. Crawley receives that one off the outside edge. Now back into his own end. Crawley through center with speed. Stops up at the blue line. Trying to make One too many moves there at the blue line. He'll get pushed offside by Chamberlain, and we'll have to send it back in. Steves on the half wall, plays it up, taken away by McDonald. He'll throw one to the net, doesn't get through. Now O'Shea battling down there along the half wall with Parker Lee, unable to get it out, and now it's slammed around the half wall by Declan Steves and played down to Levac. 20 seconds to go here on the penalty to Peters. Now played back out. McDonald will send one up to the line, and Zwainveld pushes it through. Chamberlain's got time with one man to beat, passes it in front, and McNaughton taken down as Zwainveld's shot goes high over the net, played up the wall by Lee. And now a hit there on Crawley. Coming out of the box was Peters. Phillips back in the corner. He's got a couple of men all over him. McNaughton plays it back out. Crawley not too happy getting back to the bench. They'll get looked at and head back to the dressing room. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if Hudson Crawley makes his way back out to the bench. Blais chips one high into the air. It's picked up by LeBlanc. High stick is the call. So with 15:32 to go, we'll get a face-off back down in the Jets' end. Terrio working in with McDonald on the draw. McDonald wins it back, played around the wall. Chipped out by Penny. Played down to Steve, so pick it up behind the net, go to Terrio. Picked back up by Steves, up the wall. Cross ice to Terrio. Moved in by Matthews. That one's sent around the wall. Now pass gets to Penny. Cross ice. His shot goes in. Gloved by Boudreau. It's unable to be caught. Now it's back to the half wall. Mazzarol working through center. Makes a long headman pass up to Terrio just on the blade of his skate, unable to pick that up cleanly. Now Terrio gets worked over behind the net. He comes in and throws another hit there at LeBlanc. LeBlanc gives him a couple of words. Simmons picks one up, leaves it for LeBlanc. LeBlanc unable to chip that out. Now Terrio working in. His shot goes wide of the net. This one goes all the way back around the boards. Price down there to get the icing call, and we'll come back down to the Jets' end. 14:03 to go. Face-off one, played down the wall to Nicholson. Now cross ice for Penny. Worked in by McDonald. His shot off the blocker of Boudreau. Rebound in front, turned aside once more. Now back to the point. McDonald, he'll send a shot off the leg of Nicholson. He felt that one. Back to the point, just wide. That shot from Black, wide of the net. Now Zwainveld played it around to Lance, up the wall. Fortin makes a couple of nice moves. He walks in, his shot off the leg of McDonald. Fortin back around the net in front. Lance trying to get a stick on that one. Now this one goes wide. Fortin going to pick this one back up in the corner. He gets met there by a bump from McDonald. Now a penalty coming. That'll be Fortin. He'll get called for the rough. And now the Jets will go back to the power play. So 12:58 to go in the second. A power play on deck here for the Jets. Lee, Phillips, and Jador with McDonald and Crawley on the points. Crawley is back on the ice. Good to see. He came back from the dressing room just minutes ago, and the linesman takes one off the back. He's down. We're going to leave the camera off him for a second. And that's a tough one, right off the backside of the thigh. He'll get some attention from the trainer. Not sure there's much he can do on that one. Just a hard shot, clearing attempt right to the backside. And the linesman back to his feet will get set for the second half of this power play. Well, only 11 seconds in, so the rest of this Thunderbirds power play, or Thunderbirds penalty kill, the faceoff will go to the dot outside the Jet zone. Lee on the draw with Learmouth. Learmouth kicked out. O'Connor will come in to take it. One by Lee, back to Crawley. He goes cross ice to McDonald, up to Lee. He'll make his way through center ice. Lee walks in, tries to go back door to Crawley. That pass off the ice about a foot. Now Crawley back across to McDonald. McDonald to Crawley on the half wall. He works his way down. McDonald down to Phillips on the other side. He looks cross ice, trying to get one off a stick in front. No good. Now Crawley to McDonald. Back down to Phillips. Now a penalty coming. Colton Jador in front has some words for the official. And now he'll pick up a misconduct. So Jador slamming the door on his way out. He'll make his way off the ice. So some discussion at the bench. Penny will serve the penalty there for Jador. So we'll get some 4-on-4 action. McDonald, LeBlanc, Lee, and Crawley out there for the Jets, with Steves, Blais, Meserol and Chamberlain for the Thunderbirds. It's one back for Blais. Crawley pushes it ahead. Steve's unable to handle that one. Now Lee working in. That one's taken away. Now a penalty call on the play. And a slash coming in to Blais. So a handful of penalties being handed out here in the second period. And a 4-on-3 power play, not something you see every day, will ensue momentarily for the Jets. McDonald at the point. His shot off the stick into the netting, and we'll get a stoppage of play. Face-off will come to the left of Cohen Boudreau. Maxim Lermuth, the lone forward out here for the Thunderbirds. On the penalty kill with Zwainveld and Price. As Crawley gets a shot in front off his stick, it's cleared to the blue line, not out. McDonald pinches in. He'll take his time. Circled down low. He's going to drop it back off to Lee. Back down low to McDonald. McDonald working out. Shot, glove save by Boudreau. And we'll get a face-off after that glove save right to the left of the Thunderbirds goal center. 21 seconds left on that first Thunderbirds penalty to Fortin. And then 25 and a minute left to that second call. So still some power play time for the Jets as McDonald rips one over the net. Might have got a piece of the blocker there from Boudreau. As Crawley picks it back up through center. Working in. Makes a move on his man. He gets back to McDonald, who sends a shot in off a skate there and sent down the ice by O'Shea. Phillips will pick that one up. It's an icing call as we're back to 4-on-4 even strength for about 13 seconds. Ward and Fortin out of the box. He'll go right to the face-off circle. O'Shea bobbles that one. Kept in at the line by LeBlanc, sent to the front. Ward first on that one, goes through his feet. Steves has to pick it up. He circles. Ward plays it back down low, and Morrison on it there for the Jets. It'll get put up the half wall. Steves will corral it. Playing it back up the wall. It gets sent in. Fortin on it. He'll shoot, rebound. Left right there in the slot. Now Pemberton on it. He'll try and send one cross ice to Ward. Drop there for Penny out of the box, but can't receive that one. Goes down low. Ward cross ice. They score. Stephen LeBlanc works in on the back door, creeping in all the way from the point. And he'll knock home the Jets' second of the game. We're all tied up here in Moncton. So Terrio and Ward on the draw. Face off one by Ward, back to Pemberton. Sidney Pemberton up the near side wall into traffic, and now it gets played up to Smith McNeil. His shot blocked away by Boudreau, and it's into the corner. Price now. starting the breakout. He'll go up far side to Nicholson. His shot goes off a stick into the corner. Peters picks this one up as the official goal call coming in. LeBlanc from Morrison. As this one goes backdoor, a cross ice save by the pad of Colin Boudreau. Now Smith McNeil working back in. His shot goes over the net, into the netting. And a face-off coming back down in the Thunderbirds end. 8:55 left to go in the second period. Face-off one ahead. Phillips in the corner. Picked up. A shot goes in front, blocked by Steve, so play it to the corner. Gets pinched in. Now Butters. He's sent to the wall by Learmouth. Back to Stevens. His shot gloved on by Boudreau, and we'll get another face-off down in the Thunderbirds' end. Learmouth and Butters on the draw. One back by Learmouth, but up the half wall, collecting it as Butters, sending it down into the corner. Phillips stops up, almost lost it there to Blais. Gets tied up by the Thunderbirds defenseman, and in comes Learmouth to help out, playing it around the wall, but pinching in is Black. He's first on it. Now Learmouth out to center. They'll send a shot in. That one's turned aside by Levat. A shot from distance, no problem. So 7:56 to go here in the second frame. All tied up thanks to that latest goal by Stephen LeBlanc. Now off the face-off, Theriault shot in front, gloved by Levat. The rebound drops in front. Now Theriault once more, back door, and that one goes off the side of the net. A penalty call coming. Now a hook. We'll see who the recipient of that one is. Looks to be Colin McDonald. And it will be. So McDonald to the box for the hook. They'll sit for two or less, and the Thunderbirds will go back to the man advantage. Price and Zwainveld with Mazerolle, Theriault, and Chamberlain on the far side. Face off one to the point. Price jumps for it just off the tip of his glove and back down into the Thunderbirds' end. Price stops up, starts the breakout pass across to Zwainveld. He goes far down the ice. It misses the stick, but no ice. Say the linesman. Picked up by Mazerolle. Now Theriault on the far side on the half wall. He'll pick one up. Look for an option as he spins. Back to Mazerolle. Mazerolle tries to go back down onto the back door. Now Zwainveld gets the return feed at the point. He'll go cross ice to Price. Price walking in, and that's turned aside by Levat. He covers up. 1:15 to go in the penalty. So a wholesale change for the Jets. The same unit staying out for the Thunderbirds. Face off one to the point. Zwainveld plays it to Price. He'll work back to his spot on the right point. Theriault goes down low, back up top to Mazerolle. He makes a move, circling behind the net. Price at the point. To Zwainveld, shot blocked in front. That's gonna leave a mark there. Good block from Simmons in front. He'll make his way to the bench for some fresh legs as Boudreau leaves it there for Price. Now chipped left there at the line. Pemberton plays it back to Zwainveld. He chips it up to the line and they'll call that offside. 34 seconds left in the penalty to McDonald. Now off the draw, Matthews walks in, back door to Fortin. He gets stopped on the backhand. A good save by Levat to turn that one away. So 27 seconds left here in the penalty to McDonald. 6:10 to go in the second frame. Fortin with Matthews on his right side, McNaughton on the left. Back to the point to Peters. Now Fortin goes cross ice. Back at the point is O'Shea. He blocks a shot and then runs over his man, and a penalty will come. So an interference call to O'Shea as he ran over Black there at the top of the circles. Black will make his way off the ice, getting some words there from the Thunderbirds bench. And that'll give us some 4-on-4 hockey for 15 seconds until McDonald is out of the box. So the Jets will look to gain control and sustain the pressure until those 15 are up. And they're on the power play. But this one's won back to Blais. Crawley all over him. Played to the side. Lee picks it up. Tried to hit Stevens jumping in. Now Fortin makes a move. 3 now away for the Thunderbirds. Fortin tries to stop up. He gets ran from behind into the boards. Luckily, he's able to get up under his own power pretty quickly. Crawley will see the box now. A dangerous play along the half wall there on the hit from Hudson Crawley. So back down into the Thunderbird zone. Fortin on the draw. He wins it back to Blais. Blais goes cross ice. Steves. Shot blocked in front. Fortin back to get that garbage cleaned up. Blais will turn and fall. Now picked off in front. LeBlanc has a chance. That one goes through the crease. Now down low, Phillips trying to make a move. And now Stevens on the half wall. He'll send a shot high and wide, way over the net. McNaughton leaves it there for Blais. He goes cross ice to Fortin. He's out of gas. He'll head off for a change. Blais down low in the corner. Coming in to help out there for the Jets is LeBlanc. He'll send one up the wall to Lee. Lee goes back and no one there. Now a penalty coming. Stevens trying to evade the pressure. Touched up by McNaughton. So now a penalty coming to Elliot Blais. We'll go back down to the Thunderbird zone. Some more 4-on-3 hockey. The referees making sure they get their money's worth out of this one. Sent back down into the jet zone off the draw. Back to corral. That one is Colin McDonald. Through neutral ice. McDonald working up. Sends one back to the point. Pemberton shot through, blocked in front. Now McDonald on the half wall. Back to Pemberton. O'Shea coming in to help out. So back to 4-on-4. O'Shea blocks that one in front. Ward back to Pemberton at the point. Now power play for 1:10 here for the Jets. Back to the point. McDonald just keeps it onside. Now this one will be sent back to the point, intended for Pemberton. He can't keep it in. That'll fly back down into the Jets' end. Sent down the ice by Pemberton, and an icing call on the play. So 200 feet back down the other way we go.
It's from that pocket. Is it that guy?
Shot comes in off the draw. And Lavat turns it aside. Morrison goes up through the middle, taken away by Theriot. 35 seconds to go on the penalty kill here. On the penalty to O'Shea. Or Blay, excuse me. Now Theriot on the half wall. He's met there by a couple of Jets, Pemberton and Morrison. LeBlanc through neutral ice. Drives to the net. Puts a forehand on. And the rebound pulled wide of the net. Theriot racing after that one. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now Blais goes back to his defenseman. A long pass up to Blais. He chips it in. LeBlanc sent back into his own end to set up. A long pass up the wall. Chipped at by Penny. He'll make a move. Try to get his way to the net on the back end. Now sends one in front to Ward. He drops. Back to Black. Black. Back to the point to McDonald. McDonald back to Black. Black shot goes in. Blocked away by Boudreau into the corner. A penalty call again. Looks like they'll be taking both as well. So Peters will go off for the second time this period, along with Adam Penny. So some offsetting calls here in the third period. 5-on-5. We will stay. So we will get some 5-on-5 here for hopefully the last minute 44 of this period. Chamberlain to center. Mazarol tried to get that return feed just out of his reach. Lavat covers up, and we'll get a face-off in the Jets' end. Mazarol working in with Phillips on the draw. One ahead by Phillips. He pokes that up to Crawley. Phillips working in with support, but it gets turned over. Now Matthews has it in his feet. He plays it to the wall. Phillips first on it. The Jets captain plays it in over the line, but this one gets sent off the wall, and Chamberlain's got to put the Jets on, be first to it, but he's stripped by Phillips. Now back to Chamberlain, side of the net, out front to Matthews, turned aside by Lavat, and a pad save on the back door, robbing Mazarol. Now Mazarol picks it up one more time, looking for an option, trying to go back to the point, drops it down into the corner. Now Matthews Back to Mezzarol. Matthews pinned alongside the wall. No puck. Now a shot from Chamberlain is blocked in front. Puck goes out to center, and now Butters working his way up through the neutral zone to Crawley, dropped, and now it's turned aside. Chamberlain has it at his own blue line, worked up to Price, taken away by Crawley, and worked to the red line. Chamberlain, he almost took a big hit there from Stevens. Now Zwainveld. He sends one in, almost turned aside by Levad, as that'll do it for this second period. A penalty-filled second period here at the Greenfoot Energy Center, but we're even again after 2-2 the score. So stay with us here on High Button Sports. We'll be back for the third period of play right after this.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
All right, we're back inside the Greenfoot Energy Center here in Moncton for the third period of action between the visiting Cape Breton Jets and the Moncton Thunderbirds. Through 2 periods of play, we're all tied up here at the fourplex. 2-2 the score. Colby Tedio working in on the draw against McDonald. And we're underway. The face-off won by the Jets. Back up to neutral ice. Simmons will play it in. Behind the net, Price goes up the wall. This one chipped ahead. Tedio on the chase down low. He picks it up. Backhands one to the point to Zwainveld, but it's under the toe of his stick. And back down into his own end. Zwainveld's got Francis on him. Chamberlain plays it to the middle. Kobe Tedio couldn't pick that one up now. Back to neutral ice. Zwainveld took a stinger there from LeBlanc off the tip of the fingers. And now it's left for Boudreau for Zwainveld. Francis working in. He couldn't get anything to go there. It's cross ice and now picked up behind the net by Will Chamberlain. Now out to center ice. Terio couldn't get there first. Stevens was first on that one. Sent cross ice out of the reach of everybody, and that'll be an icing call on the play early, so we'll get both players back on the ice from the coincidentals at the end of the second period. And a face-off back down in the Jets' end to the left of Daniel Levat. Lermouth and McDonald on the draw. And that's one back by McDonald, picked up by Stevens. Now Francis plays a high floater out to center ice. Simmons first on that one. He'll stop up, try to go cross ice, but there is O'Connor to intercept that one. Now fixing his helmet was McDonald. Unaware of the puck coming to him, he picks it up, goes through center. Now Francis walks in, shot wide of the net. Now he's met behind the net. He works in there with a couple of Jets, Pemberton and Penny as well. Now on the half wall, O'Connor sends one cross ice. No ice, says the linesman. Working in is Nicholson. In there with Lermouth and O'Connor. Drop back, O'Connor puts a bump there. Into Black. Now cross ice for Crawley. Crawley working in, drops for Lee. Lee back to Crawley in front. This one's taken away by Steves. Worked up the near side wall. Steves got one man with him. It's into the corner now. Steves work into the corner now. Back out to the slot. Lermouth had it off the toe of his stick. Now down Back around the net. Nicholson awaits it. He sends a big bump into Parker Lee. And now picked up at the point. Crawley working in. Shot, glove save by Boudreau. Now high stick called. That'll be blown down. And a face-off to come to the left of Boudreau. Crawley working in. Had a chance to put the Jets up. But Boudreau had the glove ready. Ward on the draw against Fortin. Fortin wins it back. Peters plays it around the net. Up the wall to Lance. Taken away there by Smith. McNeil to center. It's turned aside and back out to center ice. LeBlanc. Tips one ahead. Whacked forward there by Ward. Back to O'Shea. He'll pick one up, send across ice. And up goes Alexandre Mazarol. Mazarol to center to Fortin. It's out of his reach. Now a shot on. Covered on by Lavat. Creeping in closely into the blue paint. He'll make sure there's no garbage in front. And with 16:09 left to go here in this first frame, or the third frame, excuse me, we'll get a face-off to the left of Daniel Lavat. Sergio and Ward working in on the draw. Draw one back by Terrio, picked up by Matthews. Behind the net. Chamberlain to the slot. Tried to go back door. He gets the return feed, and that one's through the crease into the corner. Matthews now battling for it. Peters picks one up at the slot. And that one's gloved by Daniel Lavat. A point shot from Peters into the glove, so we'll get a face-off to the right of the Jets goaltender. Still waiting for somebody to break the deadlock here in the final frame. Face-off one back by the Jets, up the wall to Jador. He's back after serving his 10-minute misconduct earlier in the second period. Now up the wall, McDonald plays it to the point, just gets out, so the Thunderbirds will have to touch up. McDonald up to Jador, past his stick, now back to Butters. Dropping it back for McDonald, now up to Jador, through neutral ice. Butters sends one in. Boudreau will cover up right into the bread basket. It goes. 15:05 left to go in the third. Claremouth and Butters on the draw. One by Butters, back to the point. Shot from McDonald goes in just wide. Stevens pinching in. Tried to go backdoor, chance in front. This one put off the pad of Boudreau and wide of the net. Up the wall. Fortin couldn't play it out of the zone, and they score! Penny finds the back of the net, and the Jets regain their lead. And with 14:48 to go here in the third period, the Cape Breton Jets are up 3-2. Face-off won by the Thunderbirds. Back to Steves. They'll play one up the wall. Fortin giving chase on that one. McDonald leaves it there in front. A chance thrown in front by Fortin. Now up the wall it goes to Jador. Jador makes a move with the line. It's kept onside. Now Fortin works it up. He's 1-on-2. Sends a shot in, glove down by Levat. Played there after the whistle, so a face-off will come. Back down inside the Jets line. 14-17 to go. Fortin and McDonald on the draw. One back by McDonald. Lance trying to get there on that puck first. It'll be sent down the ice. And that's an icing call on the play as Francis sends it 200 feet. So we'll go back to where we started from. Pemberton showing Francis what not to do in that situation. Now Francis again off the wall. It's chipped back. Peters gets possession of this one. Now back up the wall. Nicholson to Fortin. Working in. Makes a move. Drives and rips one on. Nicholson in the corner now. He leaves that. Picked up by McDonald. On the wall to Simmons. Simmons back out to McDonald. Taken away by Fortin, but it's played back up the wall to Francis. He tries to make a move, working in. Turned aside into the corner. Now Fortin. He's got, that was Nicholson. He had room there on the far side. He works in, tries to bump Black off the puck. Squirts out of the line. They'll have to regroup here as the Jets come up offensively. O'Shea at the point sends one cross ice to Peters. Peters up to Nicholson. Tried to hit Terrio, but that one just out of his reach. That one played offside, so we're going to face off at the Jets line. 12:50 to go in the third period. Lee and Terrio on the draw. Back to McDonald. Will play a quick pass up to Crawley on the near side. He'll drive in. Stop up at the half wall. Met there by Terrio. Now Lee in front. His shot goes just wide of the net. Played up into the slot. A loose puck picked up by Parker Lee. Left for Hudson Crawley. He'll spin. Fire. That one's over the net. Now LeBlanc gets tripped up. A penalty coming. So a tripping call to Will Chamberlain. Will send the Thunderbirds to the penalty kill. Down one, 12-19 to go in the third. Back up the wards. Price puts that, and it gets out of the zone. 200 feet. Mesadol on it down in the corner. Putting pressure on. Short-handed. Tried to send one in front to Terrio, but into a couple of skates and back out to center. Now short-handed. Zwainveld will send one hard into the corner. Picked up by Phillips. Taken away there by Terrio, and he has a chance in away short-handed. Scores! Kobe Terrio rips one home short-handed. And the Thunderbirds have evened things up here in the third period. Face off one by the Jets. It's corralled by Pemberton, sent across to LeBlanc. Back to LeBlanc at the point. He'll send a shot through, glove down quickly by Boudreau, and that'll be covered up, held on for the face-off. 11:32. The tying goal coming from Kobe Theriault, shorthanded on the breakaway. Now the Jets win the draw, back to LeBlanc at the point, cross to Pemberton. He sends a shot in off the pad. That one's kicked all the way back out to neutral ice. Pemberton cross to LeBlanc, goes back to Pemberton. Pass intended for Smith McNeil, taken away. Now LeBlanc back in the other side. O'Connor sends it back out to center ice. Pemberton back to it. Smith McNeil up the near side. Plays it back down in. Butters able to pick that one up. Throws it cross ice to nobody, and O'Connor will send this one down the ice. No icing, as there's still 20 seconds to go here on the penalty to Chamberlain. Now working in is McDonald. Sends one in through the slot. It works its way back out as Fortin gives chase to that one, shorthanded as well. Now Fortin working in. He sets up shop behind the net, back out to the slot, and Smith McNeil picks this one up. And away he goes for the Jets, working in. He makes a move there, works in, shot, turned aside by Boudreau. And now a chance thrown blindly into the slot, down low from O'Shea, and they'll look to send this one onto a blade or off the glass. This one goes cross ice to Nicholson, and just outside of the line it comes, so an offside at the Jets line will bring us a face-off with 9:45 left to go here in the third period. That tying goal coming from Kobe Theriault on the shorthanded breakaway. Now off the draw, Thunderbirds win it in front. A chance for Theriault. He's working in. He was tied up. There's Rador trying to make a move, get to the middle of the ice. He's turned aside there by a couple of Thunderbirds defensemen. Now out to center. Mazarol gives chase along the wall back to Matthews at the point. He'll send one deep. Stevens goes out, and that one will be sent down the ice. An icing call coming if Price gets back, and he does. So we'll go 200 feet down the ice. Malik Stevens sending it a little too far for the icing. Butters will work in on the draw with the latest goal scorer, Kobe Theriault. Now back behind the net, picked up and turned over in front. Matthews tries to send one down to Theriault on the half wall now. Left down behind the net for Mazarol. He leaves it back for Theriault as it's sent around the wall. Kept in by Price. That one just squeaks outside the line, but Price plays it back inside the Jets territory. It's played up into some feet. And now Learmouth corrals that one, playing it cross ice and up the wall into the Jets' end. Now Chamberlain in front. He makes a move to the backhand. Now he gets bumped on the numbers there. A call coming and a power play for the Thunderbirds once the Jets touch up. So cross-checking call. That'll send Butters to the box for 2 or less. The Thunderbirds to the power play. .804 remaining in the third. Alexis Fortin working in on the draw. Fortin wins it back to Blais. Blais, shot goes in from the point. That one wide of the net. Picked up on the half wall by Fortin. Back to Steves. Steves sends a shot through, blocked in front. Back up the wall. Steves down to Fortin. He'll go back up to the point to Steves. Declan Steves. Shot to the side of the net. Looking for a tip from Nicholson. Now Lance working in. That one cleared down the ice. And a change coming for the Jets. Setting up shop down there is Declan Steves. He'll turn back, doesn't see what he likes. Now sent in by Nicholson. Around the wall, held in by Blais. He goes cross ice to Theriault. Theriault working in. Cross ice, Zwainveld. His shot covered up by Levat. And that'll kill the first 67 seconds of that power play. 53 to go. Face off to the left of Daniel Levat. Parker Lee working in on Kobe Theriault for the draw. Theriault wins it back to the point. Zwainveld with the heavy shot we saw it earlier in this game. Back to the point. On the side of the net, a loose puck. Picked up by Mazereau. Back to the point. Zwainveld looking to unload that one-timer. Didn't do it. Now Theriault sends one through the crease. Picked up by Mazereau. And net comes off its moorings for a second. So face-off coming back down in the Jet zone. 32 to go on the penalty to Colton Butters. Mazereau on the half wall. He's tied up with McDonald. Try to play it back to the point. Now it's in front. Chamberlain knocked off his stick. Mazereau back to the point. Across for Zwainveld. The one-timer comes in. Turned aside by Levat. And now Francis works out short-handed to center. And he'll play one deep into the corner for Zwainveld. He's met there by Lee. Price comes in to help out Zwainveld. The Thunderbirds skipper leaves it there. A little bit of miscommunication as Zwainveld and Price will set up here behind the net. Francis sends a bump in there to Zwainveld. He sends it around to Mazereau. Mazereau down the wing. He's got two with them. Mazereau working into the slot. Tried to find Zwainveld, and Zwainveld was looking in there for the big bump in the slot. And now he gets Francis along the wall. Francis will get up and look for a number. Now it's up the wall, offside for the Jets, so Francis unable to touch up. Sent down with Theriault on the forecheck. In comes Mazereau. His shot turned aside by Levat. And now sent back down the ice. Peters will grab it there as the icing is called. 5:07 left to go in the third. Tie game, 3-3. And a great chance there down low to put this one away by the Thunderbirds, but it was turned aside on the back door by Daniel Levat. The face-off will come down to the left of the Jets goaltender. And the Jets have called a timeout, so we'll take a short break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds after this timeout. So we're back after the timeout. 5:07 left to go here in the third period. We're all tied up at 3. Alexis Fortin, Parker Lee will work in on the draw. Draw one by Lee, back to the corner. Stevens plays it around, but it's kept in on the far side by Peters. Pemberton goes up the wall. Peters just able to keep that one in. It's off the shin pad of Francis and out to center. Crawley, first on that one. Brings it in, drops. Stevens will send that one on net. No problem there for the pad of Cohen Boudreau. Now O'Shea has this one off his leg and they score. Morrison picks a corner with some choice words for the Moncton bench. And here at the Greenfoot Energy Center, the visitors from the Highlands take a 4-3 lead. Now the Jets with 4.5 look to get that one back and force some extra hockey here as Learmouth works in, unable to get anything done with that. Now behind the net is Mazarol out front to Learmouth. That one just goes wide of the net. Matthews back on the half wall, drops it to Mazarol. Back to the point. Steves, his shot goes off the blocker of Levat. Back to the point. Blais sends a shot through. This one at the side of the net, picked up by Mazarol. Sent back to the point to Steves. His shot back down to Mazarol. He'll work into the slot. Tried to hit Learmouth with that one, but it goes all the way back to Declan Steves. He'll play it up the near side. Played in front of the net, picked up by Learmouth, and he'll circle back. A high riser flipped in by Mazarol. It's collected there by the Jets. Played back in by Mazarol to Matthews in front. He drags to the backhand, and now he's into the corner on the half wall. Mazarol will play one around. Zwainville comes pinching in. Back around the net, it's played. Black up the wall. Now back to the point. This one almost taken away there by Ward. Zwainville will play one around to Price. 3 minutes to go. And now a long pass up. Mazarol lurking around that blue line area. He plays one back around to Chamberlain. Out front, Theriault shot, glove saved by Levat. Theriault was lurking in, looking for his second tying goal of the game. Unable to get that one. It's turned aside in front by Daniel Levat. And the face-off will come back to the left of the Jets goaltender once again. Now Ward breaks it out, tries to hit Phillips cross ice. Now it's into the corner. Blais tries to work up a man falling down there on the half wall, but it's out to Theriault working in. He drops there for Nicholson. Nicholson tried to send a backhander cross ice. He rips one around the wall. Theriault makes a move. Tried to bank one in from behind the net. Didn't go, and now flipped high out to center. On there is Phillips for the Jets. He works in. This one turned aside. Didn't get to the front of the net. LeBlanc to Pemberton. He goes cross ice. Smith McNeil at the blue line. Going to walk in. That shot blocked. Thunderbirds pick it up. Chamberlain misses that pass, and now he'll pick it up once again to Fortin. Back to Chamberlain in the middle. That one missed his stick. Played back to the point. Zwainville has to get back quickly. Phillips working in. Zwainville gets back to clear the danger. Ward now with a chance in front. That one pops back, and now 3 away for the Thunderbirds. 2 with a man changing. McNaughton into the corner. Boudreau coming to the bench. The Thunderbirds will pull their goaltender. Maybe at the wrong time as Colton Jador walks down and ices it. So the empty net goal puts the icing on the cake here for the Cape Breton Jets. Colton Jador slotting it into the open cage. 1 minute on the clock. And now Jador picks it up once more. He's muscled off the puck and away goes Lance to center. It's worked in by O'Connor. His shot off his skate back into the corner. Worked over in the corner there is O'Connor. Now Lance trying to dig it free. Now this one's sent down the ice. 30 seconds left to go. And Peters back to pick it up. No icing on the call. O'Shea tried to break through a couple of men there. No good. And Peters back to pick it up. Jador on him. Peters, long pass ahead. That one out of the reach of everybody will go for the icing with 4.7 seconds to go here on the clock. So the face-off to the right of Boudreau, 4 to go. And that'll do it. Some extracurriculars after the whistle, but the Cape Breton Jets take down the Moncton Thunderbirds 5-3 here from the Greenfoot Energy Center. Thank you to the fans up in Cape Breton for tuning in. Et merci aux partisans des Thunderbirds pour nous joindre sur YouTube et highbuttonsports.ca. Dayton Camo for High Button Sports, tuning out from the Greenfoot Energy Center in Moncton. We'll see you next time.